Alright, y'all, we rolling through. Primordia, we're here in Metropole. Looking for Metro Mind. And our power core and scrapper. I'm not really sure where we're gonna go next. Let's go back over here to the courthouse. Let's go to the waiting area and see what happens.
A rotund robot wearing a monocle.
Ahoy, my dear friend. Oswald Factorbuilt at your service.
There's no more your dear friend than Rex as your creation, you besotted gear oiler.
Oh, don't mind Cornelius. He's been bitter since the first great rolling brownout.
Better, I'll show you bitter, you back bot snatcher.
I think I like these guys, boss.
What is that
What's
building?
in that building?
Why, Arbiter's Court, of course. Why else would we be here?
I need to see Arbiter.
We all do, my dear friend. But the courthouse is locked, and first come, first served.
Why are you waiting in
Why
line?
are you waiting in line?
Justice. I'm here for justice. To prove that I, Cornelius Factorbuilt, created this marvelous machine, Rex. Rex Cornelius built.
Ignore him, my dear friend. Candidly, he is 10-23 flops short of a kilo, if you catch my drift. The machine's name is Oswald Built. Rex Oswald Built.
This is over a name? Why not just let Rex decide?
Ridiculous. This is about principle.
This is about pride.
So, boss? Would you fight over me like this?
You could call yourself Crispin Crispian for all I care. As long as you still pull things off ledges for me, that is.
Glad to know I'm loved.
Who are you going to decide who gets Rex? How are you going to decide?
How are you going to decide who gets Rex?
For the law, fool. The law.
Please excuse my brother. He can barely remember pi to the 23rd digit, let alone his manners.
For...
I rest my case. Suffice it to say, chap, we await the reopening of the courthouse. Or more precisely, we await a summons from Arbiter who will decide our case.
Who will say whose contribution was more important? Who will say, in fact, that my contribution was more important?
I'm looking for a
I'm
big
looking
robot.
for a big robot. It floats and has lots of claws and shoots lasers.
Scrapper, yeah.
It stole something of mine. Have you seen it?
Indeed. The robot you describe sounds like Scraper, Metromind's enforcer. Whatever he told
Scraper.
us
I keep
is
calling him
wrong
Scrapper.
I refuse to accept
Yeah,
that.
turn him into
Oh,
scrap.
he refuses. How delightful.
Do you know where I can find a power source?
Alas, my friend, power is not so abundant in Metropole as it once was.
Magak Metromine seized it all, seized it, and doles it out. And there's hardly enough to go around now.
Metromind keeps all power sources in the Great Tower where the Council used to meet. If you want to share it, you will need to pay her in megacycles.
Megacycles.
Yes, megacycles, ninny. CPU cycles. Brain power. Kind of power she really wants. Her low-rate processor was made for running trains, not a city.
Makes sense.
Could someone else judge your case?
Of whom were you thinking? Metromind, perhaps? Authoritative, to be sure, but I fear she would claim Rex for the good of all.
And since the subway schemer
He means Metromind.
shut down our builder Factor, he cannot help either.
What about Horatio?
Who?
Me.
And why should we listen to you?
I've built a robot before, and I have no stake in this.
Yes, well and good, but this is a matter of law and logic. A bit harder than banging together a tin can like your companion. How can we know your reasoning is sound?
Test me.
An interesting proposition. What do you say, Cornelius?
What do I say? I say that you are a liar and a thief, Oswald. But as to
cheat.
this Horatio, well, as to him, so be it.
Boss, if they make us find 7 lost crystals, I'm quitting.
Shh.
Righto. Consider this. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered for a party.
The what circle is gathered at the what? Is this some kind of vocab test?
I said quiet.
Each robot is either a Factor-built or a Sternweiler built.
Blasted Sternweilers.
And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture.
This is ridiculous!
Pay attention. Factor or Sternweiler, quad-core, linear type, or multiplex.
Indeed. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilities. First, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear-type robot was built by Factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen, which of the following statements about the probabilitist circle cannot possibly be true?
I mean, can we have that repeated?
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed. At the binomial biennial,
Okay, 7 robots.
Probability circle are gathered for the party. Each robot is either a factor-built or a Sternweiler built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second,
Okay, so it's
every
4 to 3
linear-type
at least.
robot was built by Factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen, which of the following statements about
Okay.
the probabilitist circle cannot possibly be true?
So there's more factor. Okay. I think it's going to be 3 or 4. Fuck it, I want to cheat. I don't want to get it wrong. All right. Solving the gentleman's disputes. Alright, so let's just look. I got it written out here. So let's try not cheat. And just try and figure it out. Alright, 7 robots are gathered for a party. Each robot was either built by Factor or Sternweiler. Each robot has a quad-core, linear type, or multiplex processor. There are more Factor builds. Alright. There are more Factor built than Sternweiler builds. Every linear type is Factor built. Okay. There are more Factor builds than Sternweilers. Alright, we got 7 robots. We got more Factor builds. Every Factor build is going to be a linear type. So we've got more linear types than anything else. So we have at least 4... linear types. Oh, that's not right. It says every linear type is Factor built. And none of the Sternweilers have quad cores. There's more Factor builds. Every linear type is a Factor build. I got no idea. All right. Well, apparently 4 robots were built by Sternweiler.
4 robots were built by Sternweiler.
Good show.
The preceding facts are unchanged. Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
I think it's 2 of the 7 have linear type processors. All right, so 3 of the 7 were
3
built
of the
by
7 robots were
Sternweiler.
built by Sternweiler.
Correct. Here is the third question. The facts are still unchanged. Which of the following types of processor architecture might you find in a probabilitist built by Sternweiler?
Only quad and multiplex? Ah, they're only multiplex.
Only multiplex.
Well, it seems we underestimated you, my friend. I'm uploading the facts of our dispute to your data pouch. Please, take some time to consider, and let us know when you are ready to hear our arguments.
All right, I think I'm ready. Let's save it first. Judge Ho. That just looked funny.
I'm ready to hear your arguments.
Excellent,
All right.
excellent. My dear friend, this is not a difficult case. In the Primordium, it was once said, 10 people have 10 ideas, and 20 idle hands. Wise Horatio. Long years have passed, but the principle remains true. Did Cornelius have the idea for my beloved Rex? I concede he did. But who built him with his own claws and tools? Who hammered and soldered and wired Rex? That would be my humble self. Wise Horatio, a robot's fabrinomic has the suffix built, not designed. And Rex is Oswald built, no matter who designed him.
Okay.
He makes a good case, boss.
What about you, Cornelius?
Ah, if you're so smart, you can figure this out for yourself. The question isn't what built Rex, but who built him. Your little friend there isn't named Hammer built or Plasma Torch built. You call him Horatio built. Every robot uses tools to build. Oswald was merely a tool with tools. My vision was the creative force. And if you disagree, then you can go and rust in the rain.
What do you think, boss? Who gets to take credit?
What do you think? Oswald couldn't have done it without Cornelius' design, but Cornelius couldn't have done it without Oswald. It's gonna be factor built. That's who they
Neither
are.
of you could have built Rex without the other, so neither of you can put your name on him. But you both share a common builder, Factor.
A common denominator, right, boss?
Both of you are Factor builts. Therefore, your robot's name is Rex Factor Built.
Factor built?
Ridiculous! And yet, the name is beyond dispute.
Indeed.
Take this, then, as a sign of our appreciation.
Something shiny?
I've been told the dates to the Primordium itself.
You know, my idea would have been to threaten to cut Rex in half.
You got upset when I cut that fuse box open.
Yeah, but that Rex just rubbed me the wrong way.
What a dick. What a dick.
It's a silver disc with a faded image embossed on its front. There's no reason to cut that, or totally I doubt that will happen. The entire thing is actually, wait a minute. The crystal and plug are still intact.
Please, for the love of Ram and Rom, tell me we are not going to build a third energy sensor.
I hope not. How would that even work? A sodium iodide crystal. It pulses when exposed to energy. A universal interface plug. Futile. How would that even work?
I don't know. It's a universal plug, bro.
All storage bladders empty.
Let me see your stuff, yo.
Come take a look. Not interested, Tom.
You wanted something antique and fancy. How about the silver disc?
Oh yeah, it is antique.
Fine trade, Tyrell. Here's the memory access device. Now, all you need to do is plug it into a data pouch.
But there's no plug.
Never said there was.
It's alright, I got one.
It's a memory access device that can plug into my data pouch. That is, provided it had a plug.
That was easy.
It's a memory access device that can plug into my data pouch.
Even easier.
What did that do now? Rex lawsuit. Okay, so we can fast travel around here, okay?
Information regarding the...
Water check for a geck, crowbar for something shiny. Plug board for a mask.
Let me see your stuff.
Come take a look.
Here you go. A nice shiny crystal.
And one heavy iron crowbar for you.
Why does that not seem like a great deal?
But we needed
A
the
heavy
crowbar.
iron crowbar.
And now we're going down. We're gonna save it. But we going down.
They look like they've been stripped of usable parts. Some kind of hatch.
Wants to open that motherfucking hatch.
It's rusted shut. I've scraped off the rust. Well, let's see what we've got here. Let's see if I can manage this. Hopefully I won't be holding onto this engine for long. I have no use for it.
That's never stopped you before.
I have no use. I have no use. It's full of corroded, unsalvageable. An air intake duct. I'm sure it played some role when this machine was operational. I have no use. It must have been some kind of tank for storing fluid, but it's dry as dust.
Alright, so we're carrying around an entire engine?
The sooner I can stop carrying this heavy motor around, the better.
I'd be happy to carry it. If I had arms, that is.
A machine belt.
Oh, can we cut up?
There's no reason to cut that. There's no reason to cut that.
Boss? boss, I think I saw something move in the water.
That's just your imagination. There's no way I can reach that. Crispin, could you go see if there's anything worth taking from those cars?
Come on, buddy.
Picked clean, boss. Looks like you're not the only junk man in town.
They seem to be foundation supports for the city above.
Those are all that's supporting the city?
There's nothing worth buying.
Knock it over, buddy.
I don't...
It's a military-grade robot that looks a lot like Ever Faithful Leo built.
Oh, ha. Oh, hey. Now look what I see. The wings of Urbani and his little trainee.
Why is everyone we meet crazy?
Ha!
Crazy, he says. Oh my, oh dear. I assure you, my comrades, there's nothing to fear. Just little lost me, your brother knight errant. A brother in arms. We have different parents.
Who are you?
My name is my secret. You can't make me talk. I'd ruin my puzzle, give a key to my lock.
Maybe we'll just call you Screw Loose.
A joker, he seems, for sure not an ace. He needs a small clue to spare him disgrace. For the crowd to adore me, Prime is my name. By now, no doubt, you've heard of my fame.
How do you
How
survive
do you
that?
survive down here?
I'm a soldier by trade. Legion built me to last. My armor is sturdy, my pistons are fast. I carry no guns, for my weapon's my mind. And those who would kill me will find themselves primed.
Really, don't you think you're overdoing it? I mean, that barely made sense. And it hardly rhymed.
No. Bro,
Why are you here?
when we laid down our arms, my medal was taken. Drunken honor from the cause we'd forsaken. The metropolitan thief cast it deep in this hole, where now it lies buried like bituminous coal.
Hogs and gears, bituminous coal.
You're looking for a medal?
No, my comrade, you've misunderstood. I sit here and wait, as a penitent should. If the medal finds me, I shall claim it straight. But until that day, I shall sit here and wait.
Why primer?
Why Primer?
There's nothing so gorgeous, flawless, or fine as the perfectly indivisible numbers of prime. Consider this list 2 to 199.
2, 3, 5, 7, 19.
Well, that was helpful.
Goodbye.
Farewell, farewell, linger not for my sake. Your mission is calling, the city awaits.
Primer. Warning. Factor facilities decommissioned. Enter at own risk.
Let's just go see what's over here first.
There's something up there on the crane.
But it's that lock clerk.
It's a raised drawbridge. There's something up there. I can't reach it from...
I appreciate your faith in me, boss, but it's not like I can fly up there and nudge it down.
I wonder if that keypad controls the bridge. Crispin, can you try typing something into that keypad?
If by typing you mean ramming my face, then yes, boss, I suppose I can.
It's a raised drawbridge.
Can Crispin go see what the thing is?
boss. I'm not in the business of flying over to spooky islands just to investigate things that you're curious about.
But it might be.
A killer robot with a grudge against witty sidekicks?
I was going to say helpful.
Alright, let's take a picture of those prime numbers. That's something I could think of. See if we can get that to show again. Maybe we have it on our data recorder. We do.
A string of numbers from Prime.
There's a whole lot of them. Hopefully this isn't the answer. If it is, hopefully it's one of the early ones. Let's go talk to that dude, Primer, again. Maybe we can ask him about the drawbridge. And he'd give us something. Really, I was kind of hoping that would be the last page. There we go. Hey.
Do you know anything about that locked bridge past the cars?
What I know is a vault locked tight with a key, which only a fool would open for free.
Fine. What do you want?
Was that a fool a peddler is he, who opens his locks for merely a fee?
I repeat, what do you want?
Nothing more than to sit here and see if you poor interlopers are smarter than me.
Boss, can we use the plasma torch on him?
No. There's a dangerous-looking robot just past here.
Yeah, aren't you worried he's gonna eat you or something?
I've seen him quite often, though he'll not see me. And so we are happy as neighbors can be.
Can you hide us from him?
If I could, I would not, but the choice is not mine. There's no room in his brain to be further primed.
Goodbye.
Farewell, farewell, linger not for my sake. Your mission is calling. The city
The
awaits.
city awaits.
I can't possibly.
Alright, Crispin.
Here we go again.
Yep. Alright, so it's 3 numbers. Alright, 107. 109, 113. 127. 101. I'm a fucking idiot. I thought those are all brand new pages. It was just going down one line. Alright, so 131. 137. Disco.
Let's go. Are these heads?
Did you hear something? Boss, do you see those things? I've got a bad feeling about this, boss.
Crispin, on the count of 3. 1,
Clarity Arbiter built. Version 2. Law Clerk to Arbiter, Judge of Metropole. This is
Nice.
my home. Now, if you will excuse me a moment.
This is big.
That's barbaric.
Civilization is defined by law, and this is lawful. As enemies of the city, they forfeited their components. I have merely exercised my right of plunder.
That sounds familiar.
Whether it's legal or not, it's grotesque.
You have a strange way of saying thank you.
Thank you. I'm Horatio Nobuild, version 5.
And I'm Crispin Horatio built, version 1.
Welcome, Horatio. Crispin, what brings you to the Underworks?
Oh, what are those
What
things?
were those things?
They are shells. Robots who traded their processors and memory to Metromind in exchange for energy and repairs. Now mindless, they still scavenge parts to trade with her.
But those were the last of them, right?
Hardly. Metromind now has more efficient ways to accumulate processor power, but she left hundreds of shells in the Underworks.
Is there any way to save them?
That question is irrelevant. They lived profligate lives, and when they had squandered their resources, chose to become thieves and destroyers. Punishment, not clemency, is what justice requires.
Did
You said you
a
were a law clerk. What does that mean?
My sister Charity and I were built to advise Arbiter Manbuilt, who administers Metropole's court. Charity sees everything through the lens of mercy. For me, the law is clear, a matter of ones and zeros, unclouded by preference or sentiment.
Law without mercy, huh? How does that even work?
Perfectly. It is the opposite approach that fails. Mercy is malware. Once infected with it, justice becomes slow and unpredictable. In time, the system itself must be discarded. Only my vigilance protected Arbiter from this taint, but he has been without me for a long time.
Why are you taking their
Why are you
heads?
taking their heads?
I am giving fair warning.
To other shells?
No, they lack the capacity for fear. The heads are for a robot named Scraper Sternweiler built.
You really think a bunch of rusty boxes will scare him off?
No, I do not want to scare him. I want to warn him. When he ignores that warning, I can destroy him lawfully and without guilt.
Boss, she's kind of exciting my electrons.
I'd like to report a theft. My power core was stolen by a big robot.
Big claws, shoots lasers, talks like this.
He came aboard the crashed ship I was living in, attacked me, and stole the core.
Took it.
Excuse me?
Whether the taking was a theft is a legal determination. Please do not characterize the evidence.
It was my power core. He shot me, and he stole it.
I know the robot you described.
Yeah,
His name
Scraper.
is Scraper Sternweiler built, and he is the servant of Metromind Manbuilt, a member of the council that governs this city. I have no fondness for Metromind, but I must be impartial in considering your claim. Tell me, did Scraper say anything before he took your power core?
Before he stole my power core, he said something like, enemy, forfeit, plunder.
I see.
What, are those words override commands to turn off law and order?
They are legal concepts, Horatio. If Scraper's characterization is correct, then he did not steal your power core. He took lawful possession of it.
He shot me, and he stole it.
Calm down, boss.
This occurred inside the city.
No, in the dunes.
I see. In a crashed airship.
Yes, I said that already.
I appreciate your report, Horatio Nullbuilt. You have presented a credible claim that Scraper Sternweiler built, no doubt acting at Metromind's direction, took your power core. Beyond that, however, there is not even probable cause to arrest, let alone evidence to convict Scraper. First, the dunes are outside the ordinary jurisdiction of metropolitan law. Second, a crashed ship in the dunes is likely a relic of the War of the Four Cities. If so, your ship was forfeit enemy property, legally subject to plunder by the Council. Scraper, acting as an agent of a council member, would be within his rights to seize it. Nevertheless, I would advise you to bring your case before Arbiter for further examination.
Did you say Arbiter?
Did you say Arbiter man-built? As in, built by man himself?
Yes.
Does man still walk here? In Metropole?
No.
But man was here in the past.
The public records regarding humans were deleted by council decree. What I know is entirely hearsay. I was built after the Urbanians murdered them during the war.
Impossible.
That is what Arbiter told me, and it was told to him by Metromind. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Did Arbiter tell you anything else about man?
Only that he missed their legal arguments. Quite amusing, if often illogical.
Legal arguments.
Yes, to play a symbolic role in their justice system, humans argued cases before Arbiter.
Symbolic. Play a role. Man is the all-builder, our lord and master.
It is possible that the man you worship is not the humans in my records. All I know is hearsay. Do not rush to judgment.
How can I
How
see
can I
the
see
Arbiter?
Arbiter?
Anyone can petition him. Cases are considered in the order they are brought to court. But
What?
I met a scavenger who told me that the courthouse was sealed and that Arbiter was no longer hearing cases. But that cannot be true. The Metropolitan Constitution requires him to resolve all cases and controversies. He would not fail in that duty.
Sounds like he already has.
Nonsense. Not even Charity could persuade him to abandon his obligations. Still, I did not detect any falsehood, evasion, or omission in the scavenger's statement. So perhaps the courthouse has been locked for some other reason. If so, it may be that Arbiter is trying to contact me, but cannot. Maybe he is already calling me home. Horatio, I have a request of you. You are under no obligation to perform it, and I will be under no obligation to you, even if you do. Do you understand?
I don't even know what you're asking me to do.
Talk to Arbiter. Ask him if I can return. Tell him that I await his summons.
That's it? Believe me, we've had to do a lot worse than that. Like this one time we chased this crazy partial named Gamma.
Of course we'll help. But how do we even get into the courthouse?
This will get you inside.
Thanks.
I must thank you, Horatio.
Clarity, you saved our lives. Compared to that, running an errand is nothing.
The law obligated me to save you, Horatio. I would have done the same for Metromind. But I am glad it was you that I saved. I wish you justice.
Why aren't you with the
Arbiter?
Arbiter?
Arbiter sent me away. I don't know why. The evidence suggests he viewed my sister Charity's advice as superior.
What do you mean?
When Metromind began taking over the council, Charity and I disagreed as to how Arbiter should respond. I informed Arbiter that the Metropolitan Constitution permitted him to dissolve the council and govern by decree. Charity felt that this would inevitably lead to civil war and suffering. As ever, she preached moderation. We argued. Arbiter told me to leave. This was the only place I could go.
Why? There's an entire city up there.
Every building in Metropole is owned by either the council or a private citizen. If I went to the council, it would embarrass Arbiter. If I went to a private citizen, my impartiality would be questioned when I returned to the court one day. Here, I owe nothing to anyone.
But you have to fight off crazy robots all the time.
Actually, I enjoy that. It's a pleasant break from legal research and writing.
You're just gonna let Metromind attack and
That's
rob
it?
me?
Go visit Arbiter? You're just going to let Metromind attack and rob me?
If Metromind violated the law, it must be proven. Until it is proven, what the law does not forbid, the law permits. And what the law permits, I must permit.
This is insane. Metromind is a tyrant and a thief. You'd let her hide behind the law?
You think that the law protects Metromind from you. The armor of the law does nothing but restrict her movement. Take it away and she will only become more dangerous. But once it is taken from her, it is taken from everyone. You need law's armor, Horatio, far more than you need its sword. I despise Metromind, but justice must be impartial, or it is meaningless.
Your justice is already meaningless. Goodbye.
Watch yourself, Horatio Nullbuilt. There are many dangers in this city.
Alright, so what did we get from her?
It's an encoded keycard.
Alright, let's save it. And going to court. And that's about all the time we got right now, guys. So drop a like if you haven't already. Drop a sub if you're new.